That being said, though, I want to go from one basketball team to the next. We
Mhm.
got news from Tyson Walker on social media that he is returning for another year. Then we got news from Malik Hall that he is returning for another year. So these are two veterans for Michigan State's basketball team that are really big, crucial parts. Tyson Walker, we know that he's capable of putting on something special for us next year. And then Malik Hall, you know, there's fans that have mixed feelings about Malik Hall returning, and I just feel the need to remind people of who he was before injury and also uh, just like before this
Mm.
past year, he was, one of your best defenders. He could shoot, he could stretch the floor, as well as go inside. We saw him try going inside many times this season. The problem was he couldn't stretch the floor anymore. I think a lot of that I could see it in his jump shot, how like stiff, and it almost felt like looked like he was shooting the ball on his way down and not on the way up. Uh, and he was just completely in his head. Something happened in the midst of his ankle injury, and I think he's going to come back to being the player he was come next year. He has a whole offseason to figure it out. I think Malik Hall is going to be fine, and I think he's going to be a big part in making a run in next year's March Madness tournament. So I think a lot of people are reacting about that, but getting it Hogard back in. I always butcher his name. Getting Hogard back in year 3, junior year. Um, Getting Tyson Walker back. Then you're adding that number 3 recruiting class. So you're adding some big talent mixed with a veteran team. That's usually a key ingredient for a special run in March Madness.
Yeah, I think they definitely feel the team next year that can definitely make a run. I mentioned it before. It depends how the younger guys mesh in with the lineup now, because from the looks of it now, you have a lot of the same guys out there just returning with extra year under their belt. So we'll see how some of the younger guys fit into that and how they play as. But if anything, I will say it's depth, which means that you get one guy rest, and all of a sudden here goes a 5 star. It's always good to have that, and that and those guys are also learning if they're willing to learn. That is. Uh, under some pretty experienced and veteran guys. Obviously, apparently, still Joey Hauser still has yet to make his full decision. So a lot of pieces and a lot of variables. MSU right now is starting to become a lot more clear who they're going to be next year, and that is, it pains me to say, a title contender.
And going off like the assumption that Joey is sticking to what he originally said and isn't coming back, you're still looking at a lineup of like Tyson Walker, Hogard, Jaden Akins. Then you got Xavier Booker at the 4, and then you have the option to put Matty Sissoko at the 5. You could put Hall in there and have Sissoko come off the bench. A lot will have to do with Sissoko's development, but you have the ability to go really big with Booker and Sissoko on the floor at the same time if you want,
Mhm.
or uh, you have a little bit of a smaller option where Xavier Booker can stretch it a little bit, and you know, it's still a pretty big lineup. Your small lineup's still pretty big when you think about it. Xavier Booker, I believe, is like 6'11", somewhere in there. And then you got Hall. He had some height, and then you got some muscular point guards who like to go inside. So, uh, it's going to be an exciting year next year for sure. And I'm just so excited because
Excited?
this year's basketball was pretty flat for Michigan State outside of the tournament run. It's just like the regular season was just
Oh man.
flat to me. It felt flat and painful.
Oh shush.
It was just like another mid-season. And which
You
I
don't know
love that I can
painful.
say. I love that I can say a 7 seed Michigan State season is a mid-season. But it was just so like whatever. Then the tournament run was of course super fun. But, yeah, I see like a 2, 3, 1 seed in this team, so, next year can't come fast enough for this, squad, and
Mm.
it's gonna be exciting.
You don't know painful, man. You didn't watch Michigan games.
I've I've I have never seen my team not make the tournament, so life's pretty great on this side, and I'm
Mm.
21 years old, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. You really have never.
But no, that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. But before you guys click off this video, Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you're over on one of our podcast platforms, leave a review on our podcast. It's greatly appreciated. It helps us out a lot, and we'll see you guys next week.